Warily, I return to the front chamber. Let me know if you experience any soreness or swelling. I suppose it's nice of him to monitor my well-being, but his tone is not at all concerned either. I'm fine, thank you very much. Good. Your suggestion about maid service seems promising. With any luck, Prince Callum will play into my hands. Is there some custom in Wellinor that makes room cleaning unusually repellent to soldiers? I didn't expect the guard to volunteer, but he seemed oddly desperate to deflect my request. You didn't see? He was afraid. Afraid of what? Of you, man. You're creepy. I believe he may think you are a vampire. Well, he's certainly pale enough to be one. What? You are unnaturally pale by local standards, my lord. And you did mention, fresh blood, I believe. It's a common saying. I thought you did it on purpose to scare him into obeying you. So did I. Yes, of course that was my plan. No, it wasn't! Yorick usually handles these interactions. Your valet. I met him briefly at the upper servants' dinner our first night. He was quite loud and jolly. He does enjoy his wine. Our usual working arrangements include him going out and speaking with people. Sounds like a good arrangement. He brings back their words, and I interpret them. He has a talent for ingratiating himself with strangers. He's friendly, in other words. Idle chatter and a smile is not friendship. No, but it helps. It is difficult to imagine Nazagi making friendly conversation with kitchen staff to learn the latest tidbits. Indeed. Considering his general demeanor, they would probably run in terror if he tried. Of course, he is a prince. Such back-alley snooping is beneath his dignity. That's why he has agents. Unfortunately, at the moment, agents means only me. So, if Callum does send Dolores here, what is your plan? I thought you would handle that. Why do I have to handle everything? You said you wanted to befriend her. Yes, but Yorick usually handled the talking to people. In an informal situation, yes. Well then, I will simply need to treat this as a formal situation and show her every courtesy. That will probably throw her off guard at least. She's not very courteous. Which means I should prepare myself. He leaves the room. Is he gonna go brush his hair or something? Oh. And returns a moment later without his spectacles. I don't know, I kinda like him with his spectacles more. We need to agree on certain signals. I am not able to see every detail. In the moment, I may miss nuances. If I am treading down a wrong track and you think I should stare away, pick up your glass and set it down again. I will hear the sound. If he can't see someone's facial expressions, well, he can't tell when he's making them uncomfortable. For all his clever plans, he's helpless in the face of normal human interaction. Wait, am I supposed to be out here? Aren't I supposed to be in bed and unable to speak? Even if my guess turns out to be wrong, Miss Orpha's already aware that there are webs being spun. She knows who you are and what you have and haven't done. We will work from there. I suppose that's that then. Dots. Time passes again, and there's no sign of any visitor, maid or otherwise. Maybe she isn't coming. Maybe Callum won't send her. You have no patience. These past few days in the dungeon, I have over-exercised my patience. What would you normally do while waiting? Yorick sometimes amuses me with stories. He reads to you? No. He tells me of people he's met and their encounters and mishaps. Romances, escaped wild stock, things of no importance. So, funny gossip, in other words. Do you want to do some girl talk? I suppose. The snake fell on Prince Callum. Dolores was telling me about the guests. I saw a man with a goose. Well, we are waiting for Dolores, so why don't we talk about her? It's probably what his mind is on right now anyway. Dolores told me there was a pair of gentlemen planning a fight because they were wearing the same outfits to the ball. Oh yeah, I forgot about that story. And did they? Did they what? Have a fight? I don't know. She didn't say. Well, that's not very entertaining, is it? Oops. She also said that there was a young woman plotting to make a big scene at the ball and expose Cassidy as an imposter. So her parents sent her home in disgrace. A noble? By what name? That could be important. I don't know. She didn't say. I suppose you'll have to ask her. That didn't turn out to be very entertaining either. I'm sorry. I suppose jovial anecdotes aren't among my best skills. You are a very different sort than Yorick, that is true. Perhaps a game, a challenge of wits? Alright, what did you have in mind? I happen to have a fine Parsi set. I have no idea. Potty? I don't know. Don't know what that is. I have something. Parsi is a game which is not entirely based on either luck or strategy, but a mix of both. With a roll of the dice, colored pawns emerge from their nest to circle the board before escaping to the scoring zone in the center. Along the way, they may create jams to block the other player's progress, or eat the other player's pawns to send them back to their own nest. Kinda sounds like Trouble, actually. Even without his spectacles, Nazagi seems to have little difficulty following the game. I do notice him occasionally picking up his cast dice to inspect them more closely, but he never mistakes my pieces on the board for his own, or one square for another. Hey, we're having fun playing a game. The question does occur to me. Is he a man who would be more pleased by winning, or by competing with a skilled opponent? In a game like this, however, the point is mostly moot. You can't subtly throw the outcome when you still have to throw the dice. No matter what you plan, the game will progress as it chooses. There might be a metaphor in there somewhere, but in most situations, the game of politics runs more smoothly. Knowledge is the key to control, and here in Guelenor, there was simply too much I did not know. Wow. Talk about languid knocking. After some time spent over the game board, there comes again a knock on the door. This one is not the authoritative hammer of a guard demanding entrance, but a few light taps with enough time passing between them to make the entire affair sound desultory. At a guess, that would be Dolores, our favorite page. Please, come in. A familiar face enters the room. I heard you need your rooms. As soon as she catches sight of me, she flinches away. Yeah, you flinch away. You must be Miss Orpha. It is a pleasure to meet you. A pleasure? Of course. You are a very special young woman. Miss Valois has told me a great deal about you. Oui, I bet. So, was this your plan from the beginning? Just so you could change masters? What are you talking about? You tell me, lady. What's your scheme? Please, Miss Orpha. Don't call me that. What would you prefer? My name is Dolores. Dolores. A lovely name. If you say so. She's not falling for it. Abort, Nazagi. Where's my glass? Please, feel free to call me Nazagi. Okay. Look, what's going on here? Did you want me to clean your room or not? I think that's rather a waste of your talents, don't you? Circumstances have forced you into a number of roles throughout your life, none of which have truly suited you. You are a clever and ambitious young woman, capable of planning and seizing advantages when you see them. That is a wisdom which deserves recognition. What do you want? So far, it doesn't seem that Nazagi's honeyed words are achieving the desired effect. What he's saying is, you're a lot smarter than you let on, and the king hasn't treated you like he should. Duh. So what? So he would like to help you. The Lord of the Silks wants to help me? Please. Your problem, lady, is you think you're the clever one. She does have that weakness. Hey! What, and you don't? Surely you can see how it benefits us all to make clever friends, particularly when trying to unwind such a tangled web. What do you want? I want to discover the truth. It may be of great value to both of us. Both of us, huh? What about her? She is of limited importance. Oh, thank you very much, Your Highness. By this time, though, I have become used to Nazagi's choosing an angle to play without informing me. I show no reaction. Poker face. Poker face. It was her information that brought me to you. It is your information that I am most eager to discover. You are, huh? So what do you want to know? Many things, but a good starting place would be your version of recent events. Such as how you came to find yourself in direct service to Prince Callum. Her eyes flicked to me. Look, I don't know how she got here or what she's told you, but I've got no plans to take her place down there. He waves a hand dismissively. If it helps, I have no interest in whether you did or did not participate in the kidnapping of Princess Cassidy. I give you my oath, on my honor, that I have no intention of implicating you in that affair. I'm curious about what happened after your party returned to the palace. I know I blamed you for me being arrested, but I really can't see how you could have done it. You didn't have time. All I can guess is that there's a lot more going on than I know about. That's true enough. Say I take it for truth that you're not trying to shop me. If I tell you what I know, what's there for me? What would you like? I don't ask that lightly. Not for the simple moment, but for the future. What do you want for yourself? Are you content, now that you have been raised to the rank of valet? Ha! What do I want? I want to never see a castle or a noble again for the rest of my life. I want a house of my own. A farm, maybe, where I can grow my own food and live for myself. Nothing more? You've never dreamed of yourself as something greater? What do you mean? Whether she's a lost princess or not, if she has no idea about the matter, it's dangerous to put that thought into her head. She is ambitious and smarter than she looks. If she guesses Nazagi's purpose, she might feed him lies. I lift my glass and set it down again. Go, Madeleine. I want to know how best to reward you, that's all. Perhaps I could aid you in seeking a rural assignment. Could be. Tell me then, Dolores. What took place when you returned to the castle? How did you receive word of your new rank? Well, first I knew anything was when the guards came for Lady Sneak. I thought it was a mistake, like she said. Thought the best I could do was slip away when their backs were turned. But before I could act, they were marching me off to see the king. He gave me a speech where I half couldn't tell if he were senile or what. Called it a reward, this new job. No more fetch and carry. All I have to do is keep an eye on the bad seed son. That was it. No mention if he knew what really happened. Except, at the same time, it sounded like he was saying more than he was saying, you know? Like you like to do, Lord Silk. I did say you could use my name. Oui. Nazagi, right. She's blushing. Ooh. Maybe he's getting through to her after all. Is she just feeling awkward, or Could it be that she finds Prince Nazagi hot? Whatever the case, he can't see it. Oh, right. It sounded like, underneath, he was warning me that I'd better keep my head down and my nose clean. But he wouldn't come out and say what, or why, or how. If I could tell, if I knew that a mistake meant I lost his position, I'd tell him what he could do with his son and his offers. Excuse me. A solid roof isn't worth this mess anymore. I want out. But I want out with my head on my shoulders, you know. Not risking it. Of course, you seek your best outcome. Anyone would who had the mind for it. Right. So, are you going to help me? I would like to help you. Talent should never be wasted. But if that is all that you know, there are still many questions to be answered. Why did King Friedrich himself choose to give you both a reward and a warning for involvement in such questionable activity? I told you I don't know. But if I were you, I would be quite curious to find that out. I can't imagine you feel otherwise. Could be. As it happens, you have another source of information available to you. Your new master. Him. How are you and Prince Callum getting along? What's it to you? You shouldn't even be here. They said you were locked up and never coming back. Then they said you spewed your guts from one end of the palace to the other. And now you want me to Ahem. Sorry. And now you want to make me clean up your puddles? I'll rub your nose in it first. As I said, she's unimportant. She serves as the excuse I needed to request your company. I have no intention of forcing you to serve her. Well, good. What of Prince Callum? He sent you here, thinking that I would put you to work. Does he ordinarily give you such tasks? Not really. Keeps me spinning in circles. Wants me out of his way, doesn't want me out of his sight. Doesn't even bother to curse me, just stares like he'd like to watch me burn. Interesting. Do you know what he was told about your elevation? You think he talks to me? Perhaps not, but neither has he harmed you, correct? Right. That would seem to be something of a change from earlier events. She rubs her neck in reminiscence. Moved by the gesture, I touch my own throat. Nazagi grabbed hold of me without so much as a by your leave, forced me to accept his touch and his plans. He cannot be trusted. He will act in his own best interest, swiftly and without warning if he feels it necessary. And yet, he did have a plan. His intent was not to harm. I have no doubt he could have rendered me unconscious either by Callum's brutal methods or through use of his pressure point technique. He chose only to silence me, the minimum force required for his goal. Very true. Even before, when we surprised each other in his rooms, he struck my arms only to disable a potentially dangerous intruder. As soon as he acknowledged that I was not a threat to him, he released me undamaged. The man's entire demeanor is that of a cold and callous manipulator, a prince of ice. His reputation sends trained soldiers fleeing in terror. Yet, I cannot help but feel that I am safer at his side than Dolores's in the company of Prince Callum. Safety is not affection. I am not fond of Nazagi. I am, though. I could not say that we are friends. As he said, that requires a good deal more than a smile and some idle chatter. But, as I said, it is a decent beginning. In your judgment, has he been forbidden from harming you? I don't know. He never hit me for fun, not like some. Like some what? What happened to her? Threatened me plenty over his precious sister until everything went down here. Now he just stares. Doesn't talk. He knows something, I'd guess, but what it is, I've no clue. Well then, that should be your next avenue of exploration, don't you think? If you find out what instructions he was given, and share them with me. Why should I? So far, I've done all the talking. What am I getting? You haven't promised me anything. I have no wish to make you foolish promises that I cannot keep. I am a foreigner in this land. My powers to influence the king are limited. Should the truth of matters currently hidden unfold as I imagine it, I will be able to offer you a king's ransom. As long as you are enfolded in my schemes, it is in my best interest to see you rewarded as you deserve. If I should betray you, you would be able to do the same to me. That's not good enough. I want something now. Some proof that you aren't playing me. Some payment. A balancing hold is wise. What would you suggest? Could you brew me a poison? Enough to kill a man in one night? That? What sort of person asks that? I could. His face shows no expression, as if her request were perfectly normal. But I will not. Quietly I let out my breath. It is not in my interest to lose control of my own weapons. Well, that makes sense. Something valuable then. Not coins. Something I can carry. Jewelry. As it happens, it is not the custom in Azeneth to adorn our bodies with precious stones. I own little that you might consider to be jewelry. But you're a prince. You must have valuable stuff. Different eyes perceive different value. Perhaps I have something that might interest you. He places a shallow drawer on top of a table, and both Dolores and I lean closer to look inside. There are loose beads, bits of ribbon, and a number of objects carved out of wood or bone. The carvings tend to be rounded and small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. Some depict animals or people, but I cannot tell what most of them are meant to represent. Along with these, there are a number of objects that look like short, smooth sticks, colored and polished to a high shine. Some have beads or crystals at the end. Others are decorated with the shapes of flowers or birds in flight pressed in gold. If not for these patterns, I would have suspected them to be alchemist's wands, but the eye-catching shine of gold against a glossy surface suggests they are ornamental. Nazagi's hand hovers between a black stick patterned with falling leaves and an ivory ball carved in the shape of a dog. To my eye, both items are exotic, but I could not guess what either might be worth. Which would Dolores prefer? A carving is something even she should be able to recognize as an object of art. The stick's purposes are mysterious, but could perhaps be taken for a lover's token. He reaches for the carving. Yeah. Here, take this as a token of my appreciation. Thanks, I guess. Now that she's claimed her prize, Dolores appears ill at ease. Was there something else you wanted? Tell me about yourself. Me? You are worthy of interest, don't you think? Where do you come from? You know what my name means. Don't they have orphans in your country? Your parents died then. I suppose. I don't know. Never did. The warden mother said she found me in a blanket, too young to walk. Sorry, had a tickle. If I had parents, they must have run too fast for her to catch them. The house doesn't take babies. But they took you. Like I said, guess they couldn't give me back. So it was me and the rats and dogs. Rats? Street rats. What I was when I got older. There's never enough to go around. You take what you can or you go hungry. It made you stronger. Doesn't matter now. I'm long gone. That it? As I understand it, there was an incident a few days ago involving an attempt to stage a protest over certain rumors. A young woman who had to be sent home. Would you happen to remember her name? I try not to remember all their names. It makes them itch to think they're nothing to me. She was nothing important anyway. A little miss from a little house somewhere in Duke Farad's lands. One last matter of curiosity. Who sponsored you to palace service? Sponsored? I don't... Some steward came to the house looking for a charity case, and they picked me, that's all. I thought I was lucky. The warden mother looked thrilled to see the back of me. They paid her, too. Have you enjoyed much contact with the royal family while you were in service? The king? I never saw him close before now. Why? Opportunities often arise when one is close to people in positions of power. I wasn't going to kill him if that's what you thought. Of course not. That would be unwise. Right. Look, if there's something else you want me to do, just say it. At the moment, I am most interested in discovering what instructions your new master was given regarding your welfare. With that information, I might be able to transfer you to a position that better suits your talents. Learn from Prince Callum what you can and share it with me. How am I supposed to do that? I believe you are more than capable of finding a way. I see. Well, good day, Lord... Prince... Nazagi. She bobs a little half-bow and scuttles out of the room. Never seen her flustered before. Interesting. When she's gone, I let out a deep sigh. I'm sorry that I wasn't much help there. Apparently I'm the last person she wishes to speak to. Maybe I should have stayed in bed. Don't be a fool. Ah, thank you. He steps into the bedroom and returns with his spectacles. I still need your eyes. What were your impressions? If she's a princess, it's not known to her. She was left at an orphanage in unusual circumstances, though not miraculous ones, and young enough for my theory. I don't see why a charity house would make a distinction between infants and children. Infants require a different level of care and feeding. They are also less likely to survive. Perfectly reasonable for a caregiver to specialize in one or the other. So, her origin is slightly unusual, and then she was chosen, supposedly at random, for a palace position. But not given any special treatment by the king after that, not until now. Yes, there's not enough information to draw conclusions. Did you notice anything else? Yeah, he couldn't tell that before, so he might find that useful. I believe she finds you hot, my lord. Oh, perhaps we're making progress, then. In any case, I doubt she will return until tomorrow. If your stomach is feeling more settled, I will request supper be delivered. Shouldn't you be eating with your peers? As you recall, I am currently forbidden from leaving these rooms. I suspect you could get past that, especially with an escort in a formal event. Perhaps tomorrow. For now, to preserve my fiction, it is better to suggest that you still require my constant attentions. Did he have to phrase it like that? It sounds practically erotic. Ooh. He seems entirely unaware of the extra layers to his words, or perhaps he's simply too good at hiding his reactions. Our working relationship is tense enough as it is. I don't want to put either of us more on edge. I let it go.